Hello to all my family and friends, or family because we are one in Christ. Have some super exciting news that I wanted to share with all of you. I specifically asked for certain emails for those that have played a big part in my life and my journey, and especially my spiritual journey. So I wanted to do this in a video form since it's a little more personal and won't be able to go tell each one of you separate just yet. But before I give away the great news, I wanted to talk about the journey to get me there. I don't want to give away the spoiler. So God's been doing some crazy things in my life, as he does, and that's his nature. But it all kind of started back in college. I was working with the homeless ministry and always got so frustrated that I was a girl doing that because there was a lot of men and I couldn't give them rides or have offer a place to stay or anything like that, and so just didn't get why God made me a girl. But I felt like in that frustration he had me realize that there are women on the streets and had me look for them. And when I did, I first found out about human trafficking, knowing about the women on the streets. So that kind of led my interest to start an organization on campus called Free, Father Redeeming the Enslaved and Exploited, with some girls and actually a couple guys on campus, just to educate, and then us to get training as well, signs to look for, how to do internet surveillance, that sort of thing. And through that I learned about the 821 campaign. I needed an internship to graduate, and felt like God was only prompting me to apply for one, which seemed really stupid at the time because I needed it to graduate. But applied and got it, and felt like that was God's way of telling me that that's where I'm supposed to be, in California, also through some other things. So I moved to California, interned with the 821 campaign, and felt like this is what I was supposed to do with my life, and felt like that I should do a full-time job in this, and nothing had worked out after that internship, and so things kind of fell off from there, and I just wasn't doing anything with my passion, and went to a conference through the Antioch Community Church movement, and at that conference had so many different people come up and give me words about how God's given me a passion inside my heart that I need to do something about, just to take a step. And literally there was like 3 people that came up that I didn't know come and tell me that, and so I was like, okay, God, I get what you're doing here. And so the very next day, I went and signed up to volunteer with the Orange County Human Trafficking Task Force that I had known about through the 821 campaign. And literally, it was that day was the deadline to sign up for volunteering and getting training to work with victims, so direct victim services, girls that have been rescued from trafficking, and even men. And so literally the cutoff, which is always, crazy, but how it's God. And so I did that and was able to get training and have been volunteering with them a lot. And one thing I just really didn't understand, though, still was I felt like I was supposed to do that with my life, and I had gotten a job at the Chamber of Commerce in Huntington Beach and just didn't get what God was doing with that. I honestly didn't think he knew what he was doing. But because of that job, I made so many different crazy connections with the mayor and the police departments and the school districts, pretty much all the head people of a whole city, district attorney's office, even the county, elected officials, that people usually have to work from the bottom to get to that point. And I had all of that there, and I was friends with all of them. And so through the task force, I got really involved doing mentoring girls, and part of a Filipino support group. There's a lot of Filipinos that have been trafficked from overseas for labor trafficking, and it was just crazy. Got a lot of opportunities to work with those victims, but also just go out and start educating people. One of my greatest fears is public speaking, and but in those weaknesses of ours, that's where God can show up the most. And so I started getting asked to do that. So I've been, through my work at the chamber, made connections, and people were asking me to go speak at their clubs. And so yeah, it's been so crazy. And so fast forward a little bit, I last year, as I was praying for 2016, like what God had for the year, I felt like he was saying that I wouldn't be at the chamber forever, for too much longer, and that I was supposed to pretty much do the human trafficking thing with my life. and just to take advantage of the connections I made through the chamber. So I started a group of girls that were just passionate about the same thing, so we could focus on Huntington Beach and educating and helping the police department shut down the massage parlors there that a lot of girls are trafficked from overseas are working in, and things like that. And so we did that for a while, and I also, as I was praying through the year, just got this vision of all my passions being worked out through working for a church. And I have lots of different random passions, so trying to figure out where they all go. But marriage, and maybe marriage counseling, and anti-human trafficking services, and marriage, and just different things like that. And so got a picture of me working for the church that I go to, Antioch Community Church, Fullerton. And one thing I said I would never ever do, which never say never, but is work for a church. I never wanted to do that, and I also never wanted to public speak. So I'm learning that both of those things God will use for His glory. But anyways, I recently got the opportunity to be the director of anti-human trafficking services for my church. And I will be involved in city involvement too. That will be part of my title. So so crazy. So the organization is called Unbound. It's a chapter that had been stemmed out of Texas, where the first Antioch started. And so I will be doing that, and I have recently moved closer to the church for that position. And so seriously, so crazy. It's pretty nuts being able to do your dream job and having the opportunity, but even just to do what God has made me for. I think people get to that point through life, but just the fact that I get to do that now and so young is so crazy to me. I'm just so thankful, and I'm very thankful for all of you that have been in my life, and wanted to share that I will begin starting the journey of support raising, as it is a part-time job through a new church. And so I will be calling each one of you and just seeing if that's something that you would want to partner with, and would love to be giving updates and such. But yeah, I wanted to share that story with you just so you can kind of see what God's been doing in my life. Just super excited, and once again, very, very thankful. So I love each one of you, and we will be talking soon.